Hi friends, today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to combine two things that I really enjoy, styling wigs and talking about money. Today I'll be restyling and resetting this wig that I've worn a few times and it needs some love, while talking you through a passive investment strategy. So this video is a mashup of two of my playlists, which is making wigs and making money. To get started on the wig portion, first of all, you'll need a head. Typically, if you're a wig stylist, you don't use a foam head, you would use a block. And you need a wig. This is a wig I bought on Amazon a while back. And yes, it's a pretty rose gold. It doesn't match my hair, but it's pretty. And it is a lace front. And I have ratted it in the past. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna steam out the curls so that I can reset the curls, because that is so satisfying. For purposes of this, so I don't pull on the lace and mess it up, I'm gonna actually put these pins in the crown and go all the way around. I recommend using a little handheld portable steamer brush. So if you're asking why I'm steaming the curls out, if I'm just gonna reset the curls, well, for one, I kind of want to give it a little bit of a haircut first. This way it'll be easier to style it into some sort of fashion. Although I do love the way it naturally is right now, except for it's a bit too like pedestrian. So maybe a little bit more exciting and drag. See how nice that is so far. Oh. I had this idea that, you know, talking about investing and things like that can be just kind of boring. What better way to do this than to have it seem like it's like you're hanging with your best Judy, you know? I'm gonna keep doing this, and I want to start talking to you about your investment strategies. What are you gonna do? What it would mean if you were going to start investing today. What should I do? Like, how do I even do it? I don't even know. The first thing that you want to do is go to, and again, I'm just sharing what I do. I use Fidelity. You know, open up your account, get yourself all situated. Now ask yourself, well, what are my investment goals? Like, are you saving for retirement? Are you saving to buy a house? Those are really important questions because those are key in knowing what kind of taxes you may owe. All intents and purposes, let's just pretend you're planning for retiring. When you go and you start your account with Fidelity, you want to open a Roth IRA or a traditional RIA. One of them, the tax incentives come now, and the other, the tax incentives come later. So just kind of think about where you want your savings. So you open up your Roth IRA, and then what you want to do is you want to attach a bank account to your account. When you have that all set up, and it takes a couple days because they verify your bank account and things like that, then you're gonna move money into your IRA. You either max out your IRA right away, or if you're someone who's low income, maybe you just don't have $3,000 lying around, you just have to kind of do it monthly. We'll err on the side of new investor, kind of nervous. So let's just say $50 a month. So there you go. You're like, okay, I've got my $50. Then I've clicked add, and it's gonna take a day or two, and it's gonna pull that money out of your bank account and put it into your Fidelity account. And now I'm ready to invest. I'm ready to invest it in something. Like, well, what am I gonna put it in? Like, what do I wanna buy? Like, if you are someone who is considered an active investor, you might want to buy an individual stock or invest that $50 into one stock. And I don't mean just like one stock, I mean one company. Sometimes I might need one stock because maybe that stock is $50. I'm gonna take my $50 and I'm gonna buy Nathan's Famous cookies, which I believe is at like 30 something. You see Nathan's Famous, you go onto the thing and you click buy however many shares you can buy with the money in your account. In this case, if you only have $50 and it's like $30, you can only buy one. You click buy one share, a market order. If you want to put a stop loss on it too, you can. That's up to you. That's another strategy. And then you hit confirm. And now you own one share of Nathan's Famous cookies. Now let's say you're not really so much interested in buying individual stocks or individual companies. You got your money in your Roth IRA and you are like, I don't want to be a super active investor. I don't want to research all these companies. I'm just going to buy index funds. Perfect. It's the best for passive investors. You literally just take your money every month, buy more index funds, and diversifying the kind of index funds you have. Foreign market index funds, those are smart too. I have a range which I will put right now. This is research I did of a couple of different types of total market index funds, ranging from like $13 to, you know, $300+. So it really just depends on how much money you're willing to put in. Why index funds over anything else? Well, again, you're naturally diversifying your portfolio just from the start, based on the fact that your money is being spread out between a bunch of different companies. So that's key right there. There really isn't much of a downside to index funds. To be fair, anytime you play in the market, there's going to be some risk involved. Because you're naturally spreading your money out, it seems pretty safe bet. But as I've said before, if there seems to be a market crash or a market downturn or something, just wait it out. Wait it out. Well, she's really going for it. Where's the lobster? I went through and gave her a pretty choppy little haircut. I'm gonna reset the curls. And also this middle part, oh no, I have a middle part too. Look at this, isn't that fun? It's like my life is trying to give me bangs. I'm gonna switch this. I don't like a middle part, so I'm gonna steam the curl back. I use a bunch of different types of curlers, but the key is that they are not sheer, but there's some access for air and steam through them, because what you do is after you put all your curlers in, you put a bag over her head, and then you put the steamer in there and just heat the curls up. All right, let's get back to your investment account. So you've invested in your index funds and you're feeling pretty good about it. And let's say your portfolio has let's say it's somewhere between like 10 and 14%, sure. There might be years where it's like 7%. So here's the thing. The market on average, just in general, grows at about 6% per year. So if your money is growing at 6 to 7%, that's pretty good. Don't worry about it, right? Like, hey, your money's growing on itself and you don't have to do anything. Oh, by the way, what I'm doing here is, you know, obviously just curling. But it's kind of tricky with this faux hair. You really gotta get all the hairs in there. And I just gave her a layer cut, so that's a real good job, me. And then I'm just gonna take a pin and put it in. It's not like a real head. You can actually just pin it right in. The thing about investing for your retirement is, especially if you're using an IRA, is that it's a marathon, not a sprint. I've said that before. Think long term, and you don't want to take the money out. You don't want to move that money out of there. You want to keep it in there as long as possible. And yeah, just know that if you take the money out before the account has matured, this is the reason why so many beginning investing strategists always say, make sure to have an emergency fund. This is like pretty key. Listen, if you're watching this and you're like, I also am an artist for a living, or maybe I work at a coffee job, which I've done, I love my coffee jobs, and I don't make that much money, I don't necessarily have a savings account, but I want to start investing. It seems super cool. Anytime you get involved with your money in a way that's proactive, you are giving yourself such an amount of self-love, financial literacy. It's amazing. If you don't have a savings, but let's say you look at your budget and you really know that you can par down on the partying or whatever you're doing, and you could maybe invest $50 a month. Take 40 of that and put that in your savings, and then take 10 of it and start an investment account. This is just so you could get so comfortable being an investor, using your money in a way that works for you. You can do it, just be smart. If you start putting all of the money that you should put in your savings into an investment account, and then, I don't know, like you stub your toe and can't work for 3 months, you're gonna have to put the money out of the stock market, and that's gonna suck. You stub your toe and it is April 1st of 2020. So the market is not doing so well, and you've, you know, essentially maybe you got into the market a couple years before and you had a pretty good nest egg going, and now you have to pull that money out because you stubbed your toe and you didn't have an emergency fund, and the market is down. And then you are one of those stories where someone says, oh my God, don't do it because I put all my money in the market and then I lost it all. You're learning, you have financial literacy, so you don't have to be that person. Or maybe the companies they invested went bankrupt, which is also a thing that can happen. But again, if you diversify your portfolio, chances are pretty slim that that's gonna happen. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Let's recap. You have decided how much money you can put away per month. You are also putting away for your savings account if you don't already have one, but please try to think about having one first because you don't want to get caught when the market's down, needing to cash out your funds. And you have decided what your investment goals are, which is either like retirement, and we use retirement as an example. That's where you're at, putting money in every month, putting it into your IRA, and you are buying index funds. Let's just do that. It's a good way to start. Let's continue curling this little lady. Hey, a huge shout out to my Patreons for all of your support over all these years. And if you haven't joined yet, head on over and subscribe. We have all of our curls in. All of this pretty much just gets ratted and acts as a pillow for everything that gets laid on top of it. So we'll get into that tomorrow. And the next thing that I do is find a plastic bag somewhere and steam it. Okay, all you want to do is, typically you'd use just a regular plastic bag. I'm using a garment bag. It's awfully long and it has a hole in the top for a hanger, which isn't going to keep the steam in. So I'm kind of going halfway. And just steam her. You'll know it's done when you touch the curls if it's really hot on the top. You just want to make sure that you get it really, really nice and heated all around. That's how the curls work. It's a little bit easier when the bag is not so big. All right, that pretty much does it for now. What I'll do next is I'm gonna let this cool inside the bag just so the heat can kind of stay on there a little bit longer. And then I'll take the bag off of her head and I'm gonna let the curls just sit overnight and dry naturally. I typically like to do this in the evening and then just ignore it for overnight. It usually dries by the morning. All right, everyone, that's a wrap on today's video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you like this video, please click the thumbs up button down below and subscribe to my channel for more videos all about making everything. Costumes, wigs, whatever I feel like making, and that includes making money.
The higher the hair, the closer to heaven. Subscribe to my channel for more.